For the weather forecast, a quick look at tomorrow night on BBC1. There'll be highlights from the day's tennis at Wimbledon at 6:35, followed at 7:30 by a look behind the scenes of some great movie stunts with Harrison Ford, the star of Raiders of the Lost Ark. There's an opportunity to relive, or avoid, some of the best moments from the recent series of the Kenny Everett television show at 8:20, and then after the 9 o'clock news at 9:25, Dr. Judith Bergstrom faces a charge of malpractice in Chicago Story. World Cup report is at 10:35, and at 11:05 we join George Burns in Nashville, where he met country stars including Loretta Lynn and Larry Gatlin and the Gatlin Brothers. That's tomorrow night. And now the weather forecast from Jack Scott.
Good evening to you. Well, Wimbledon almost got away with it today. It wasn't until late in the day when a couple of showers came along and spoiled the record, but it looks as though tomorrow the same sort of thing will be threatening, although if we all keep our fingers crossed it might not quite get that far. What's happening now is that the showery air to the south of that low is going away with the low as the low goes away eastwards. It's being followed by this ridge of high pressure which will bring a short period of dry, fine weather, but then these fronts here coming in steadily but fairly slowly to carry some rain across the country. You can see the position by noon tomorrow. There are the fronts coming across southwestern parts, and in fact they'll carry rain into southwest England and southwest Wales, I think, before the end of the night. And then during tomorrow that rain will be coming steadily forwards. It'll during the morning get into Northern Ireland there, and in the afternoon and evening get as far as southwest Scotland, northwest England, the Midlands here, and eventually a little of it getting into southeast England. That's why I say keep your fingers crossed about Wimbledon. Meanwhile, there'll have been a lot of dry weather there before that happens, and northern and eastern Scotland and eastern parts of England will get away with a dry day, I think, right through. Temperatures you'll find a little higher than they were today, not very much in the way of wind, and the outlook beyond that, well, still some rain about, mostly of a showery nature. That's it then. Good night to you.
Well, that's it for tonight, and we have to go now, but as always, Radio 2's there all night. Brian Matthews on the air until 1 o'clock with Around Midnight. Then in Encore, there's a second chance to hear this week's Folk on 2, followed at 2 o'clock by You and the Night and the Music, presented by David Bellon. And skipping ahead a few hours into tomorrow afternoon, the afternoon theatre production on Radio 4 is a comedy entitled Krishna's Bag. It's about the problems that crop up when a new primary school teacher turns out to be a long-haired youth. And you can hear that on Radio 4 tomorrow afternoon, just after 3 o'clock. Well, the time is nearly 6.5 minutes past midnight, and on behalf of everyone here on BBC One, this is Malcolm Einan wishing you a very good night with our thanks for your company. Good night.